good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. And I can see mostly people are here from Kenya, but I'm sure it's a different time in America. Welcome to Mentor Monday, another amazing Monday evening for us in Kenya, but I'm sure it's morning for you in Canada and in the US. It's good to be here. And today we have two very amazing people who are going to give us a presentation, and we learned so much from them. I don't know, we owe you so much, Dave and Gabie, but we are usually so keen to learn from you because you have so much wealth of information for us so that we can continue driving this business to a different level, and especially here in Africa. So this evening, without further ado, I want to welcome Dave and Gabie, but starting with Gabie, please, Gabie, take the mic for the evening.
Thank you, Bansi. Well, it is September 12th. So gosh, we have gone through over a week of September, and next is October, and October is an eventful month for our distributors. Those of us that are going to attend in-person convention in Salt Lake City, I'm looking forward to that because it's been long overdue to see, you know, those of you that I haven't seen in so long, and you know, those of you that cannot attend, it's going to be a virtual convention, so please attend because there's so many announcements they're going to make, and it's always amazing. Okay, whether you attend in person or whether you attend virtually. But today's topic I want to talk about is how to lose your fear when you talk about your business. And that is one thing everyone from all over the world has in common. Believe me, I mean, I hear it all the time, no matter where in the world I am. People go like, oh my gosh, you know, I just started, or I've been in the business for a year and I still don't know what to say. And you know what, there is no right or wrong way to present your product. But one thing is for sure, you have to know a little bit about your company. If basically your homework, when I give people the homework when they first sign up, when I sponsor them or when Dave and I sponsor them, is learn about the company, okay? Learn about the product. Main product, transfer factor, immune molecule, immune science. Use your products. Your products are going to be your biggest testimony. And when you talk about your testimony, people sense your truthfulness about it. They'll sense, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about. You know, read your profiles. Just be informed. Because obviously if you start, it's like starting a job, okay? They expect you to learn if you don't have any experience, let's say in the optical industry. When I first started, I did not have any experience, nor did I ever claim to have it. I was given the opportunity to learn, okay? But I was given 90 days to learn, 90 days to learn about how to fit a frame on a person's face, how to adjust a frame, how to adjust nose pads, how to measure for bifocals, trifocals, progressive lenses, what materials we had, like CR39, polycarbonate, glass, what's best for children. Polycarbonate's best because they're impact resistant, UV protection, tints, lab time. I mean, I had to learn so much. I had to learn also what frame looks best on a person and what to suggest to them. I had to learn to inspect frames if people brought them. Anyways, the list goes on and on, okay? So I had 90 days to do all that. So give yourself 90 days to learn the business, okay? Don't think that just because it's your first month, you have to know everything. It may take you a year, okay? But if you're consistent with it, it'll be a lot easier. A lot of times I do encounter my customers, because I do have more customers lately because my circle of immediate personal attention is mainly among my church, the ladies I go to church with, or the people I go to church with. I also have a few friends that I still see now and then. And basically, the way I break the ice is, there was a lady that she gets eyelashes done on herself. Like, she always has the perfect eyelashes, okay? And I know they're not hers. But I asked her, where do you get your lashes done? And I go, can you send me information on, the lady that does your lashes and who does them? Because I don't, your lashes always look perfect. And she did. She gave me her information. And then I kind of broke the ice saying, what kind of skincare are you using? And then she'll say, oh, this skincare, and it's quite expensive, but I use it because it works for me. She's probably, I want to say maybe 15 years older than me. And she has really nice skin, but I know her skin could look better. Only because I know what our products can do for her, and not just on the surface, but we also have a product, collagen, that could also work, to help hydrate and rejuvenate not just her skin, but her overall health. So when I look at a person and I do small talk with them, I basically just inform them, look, this is what I'm using. And I want to say that I do have nice skin, okay? I do take care of myself. I don't eat the best, but I don't really have many wrinkles, okay? And I guess that's my genetics, but I look at women my age, the same age, because I have friends, and they do have, wrinkles. They do have wrinkles under the eyes. So, but you can fix that. So my job is to basically inform them, say, you know what, I'm taking these products. I would love for you to try taking them. If you really like the way my skin looks, if you like the way I don't have much joint problems, and you do get joint problems for many reasons, okay? One of them is food allergies. It could be also wear and tear on your joints, but in my case, it's food allergies. And I know that because I've been tested many times, and the doctor tells me this is inflammation because of the food you're eating. So stay away from these foods, and he gives me a list. And again, our immune system is incredible, okay? If we take care of our bodies and have the right foods and supplements, we'll look better than our average 50-year-old, okay? So basically, my take on that is, I'm a product person. So I want to share my knowledge with my brother, my mother, my neighbor, the person I just met at Zumba. I mean, everybody needs our products in some way or another. If you compliment them, let's say you go to Zumba and goes, oh my gosh, those shoes look so comfortable. Where did you buy them? And are they comfortable? Make small talk. And then, they'll introduce themselves. You don't know them. You've seen them maybe a couple times in Zumba class, let's say. And then you'll go, do you take anything before the Zumba? Do you take any energy? Do you take any protein? What is it you take? And then they'll tell you, oh, I don't take anything, or I take this, I take that. He goes, well, next time I come, I'm going to bring you a couple samples, because this is what I take, and I feel great. I don't feel very tired, this is about working out, and I'm giving you this information so that you will also benefit, and I know you're going to love it. So that's a way of basically breaking the ice, and you are talking about something you know about, okay? And they'll probably ask you, well, what's in it? And I'm like, well, look, to make it easier, give me your phone number and I'll send you the information you need with every ingredient in my product and what it does. Because, I know you're short on time, and this is Zumba and you got to go. But it's that simple, basically. you'll exchange numbers, and basically you have her number or his number. Usually it's a she, because guys usually don't do Zumba. But the gym is a perfect place to make customers or even prospects. It just depends, right? Church is another place. Other events or motivational, like if you attend a motivational meeting, or, just right now here in the States, in California, we're open to attending events like that now. Some places still require masks, some don't. Personally, I hate wearing masks. I think it's kind of stupid, because come on, it's a mask. It's not gonna weed out a virus, okay? So let's not get delusional on that, but that's another subject. So anyhow, I would like to hear my husband Dave Daughtrey's take on this. And sweetie, you want to give me some information or give us some
Sure.
more enlightenment on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We're talking a lot about overcoming fear. That's the topic today. And personally, in my 41 years of being in this business, I've worked with a lot of people, seen a lot of people. And I think really the number one challenge people have is themselves. In other words, sometimes we're our own enemy because we hold ourselves back. And it's usually fear, it could be fear of failure, fear of doing something you've never done before. And so that's why I always tell people the one thing that's so important in this business is stay involved. Because as you're involved, the more you're involved, the more you see other people doing things. Everyone has their moment where they're willing to challenge themselves, step up to the next level, whatever that might be. For me, back in 1982, 40 years ago, I was forced to give an opportunity presentation in front of a live audience. I never dreamed of doing that before. It scared me to death. I was always there to listen to other people talk. So the night that I showed up and the speaker wasn't there, the presenter, I was forced to do it because I had guests. And there was just something inside of me that said, just get up and do it. And I stood up and turned around. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be giving a presentation. I told them my name. And to this day, I don't remember what I said. Don't remember a word. But the point is, I did something that I never thought I could do. Well, today, and I was young. I was 22 years old at the time. So all of us today, I look at us, we've been around the block a little bit in life. We've all made friends. We've made acquaintances, whether it's at a job with a coworker, whether it's at church with people you meet. So we know how to make friendships, how to establish friendships, okay? And that's really what this business is about. You don't need to get hung up so much on what you tell someone. Like Gabie says, breaking the ice. Some people, it might be simply telling them about a great product that you had come across. I've just run across this incredible product I love. Have you heard of it? It's called Transfer Factor. Or, I found this weight loss product I'm so excited about, and I'm losing weight. It works. Or maybe it's a business. And I always like to go with the business because it's just easy for me to tell people that I'm in a business. I work from home. And I do like to ask people what they do, by the way. I ask them what they do for a living. When I meet people, I'm a curious person, and I've met actors and musicians and famous people, and I had no idea they were famous. Sat next to a guy on the plane. Gabie and I watched a movie the other day. It's a comedy called We're the Millers, pretty funny. And I saw at the end, Marcus Visiti is the producer. The guy sat next to me on a plane one time on a flight. I had no idea who he was. I ask people, what do you do? They tell me what they do. And then they ask me what I do. And that opens the door for conversation. And I like to tell them that I'm in the health and wellness business. I have a unique product that I market around the world. And it doesn't matter if you started today, your business, that's a fact. You're in the health and wellness business. You have a product that you market all around the world. All right. And it's called Transfer Factor. You can tell them that. Ask them, have you heard of it? Ask questions when you're talking to people too, because surely they've not heard of it. If you find someone that has, you're lucky, because we're still at a point where very few people have heard of Transfer Factor or our product. So, and Gabie said this, and it's so true. It's just about engaging in conversation with people. Don't get hung up on exactly what you say, but I would encourage this. Don't try to say too much. Sometimes, especially if you're new, starting the business, you want to try to explain it all to everybody. And I find that if you do that, then they can talk themselves out of it, okay, as fast as you got them to listen to you, because they really don't see the big picture. For me, this is about painting a picture for people too. You get them to the table. You want them to see it clearly. When someone makes a decision, at least if I'm involved with them, I'm going to make sure that they see things clearly so they can make a sensible decision, a decision based on facts, on reality, on truth. Okay. Well, I've been doing this long enough to where I feel I can present to someone. And if it turns out that it's just not for them for whatever reason, fine. It's okay. I did my best. I gave them a presentation. I asked them to come and listen, and they did. Now, if it is for them, and usually you'll find out that it is, because most people do want to make extra money. Most people are curious about getting involved in a new business. All right. If they do want to know more, that's really where the magic begins. All right. Because that brand new person that you shared this with, that is now, they're curious, they want to know more, they're willing to start their own business, they're willing to partner with you and with For Life and get involved. Now, the magic is you can get into their circle of people. And this is where I think a lot of people, just for whatever reason, and it shouldn't be fear, because now you're not going out trying to fish for new people. This person who has joined you says they'll bring people to the table. I just talked to someone 5 minutes before I got on this Zoom with you guys. Her name's Olga Lucia. She's in Tampa right now. She's a Colombian lady. She spoke to a guy that was a police officer in Venezuela. He's now in the United States. He just came here recently from Venezuela. And he's trying to find something to do. He's looking for a job right now. He was a policeman, but she told him about this business just enough to whet his appetite and create curiosity. So later today, this evening, I'll be talking to him. You see, now someone else is scouting people for me to talk to. Now, the more you do that, the more confident you get, the better you get at socializing with people, at meeting friends. You've all been to a party. You've all been to maybe some sort of social event, maybe a work event, Christmas party or something, and you get introduced to someone. So we all know how to say hello. We all know how to talk. You just need to control the direction of the conversation by just simply asking. Again, I ask people what, now obviously if you're at the same job, it might be like, well, what do you do in the company? Or ask them about their life. Just be curious about people. And you'll find that they'll tend to come back and ask you questions as well, just to engage in conversation. But at the end of the day, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get them to come in to my business and hopefully join me either as a business partner or as a customer. You'd be surprised how many people out there really would like to take a great supplement, a great product for their health. All right. So knowing, as Gabie said, knowing your product, knowing what to talk about, whether it's Transfer Factor, whether it's weight loss, whether it's transform, whether it's skincare, whatever it is, take the time to understand a bit about your product. And then don't be afraid to share with people. Now, you might have heard of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is a motivational trainer and speaker, and he basically became famous for his fire walk. Now, I'm sure you've all, especially in Kenya, I'm sure you've all seen people walk across hot coals. Anybody can do it. All right. And you don't make it a mile long or a kilometer long. All right. You basically have a few feet of hot coals, and they're piping hot orange. All right. You can walk across those flat-footed. Just walk quickly, you see, because the amount of time that you're actually on top of them is a very small amount of time. If you walk quickly, the ash protects your feet. So that's one thing Tony Robbins did with people to help them overcome fear. Have them walk. So if you went to back in the day, I don't know if he would do this today, because somebody would probably try to sue the guy. That's the way our country is that we live in here in the United States today. But the point is, back then, I think this was like probably in the 80s, you go to a Tony Robbins event and you would walk across hot coals. They'd get you to do it. Everybody'd be like, go, 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 do it, do it, do it, do it. And you're all getting pumped up and you do it, you see. So here in this business, that's why being involved is so important. Like Bancy, you opened up the call today. You know, at another time, maybe Florence can do it, or Janet can do it, or Nellie, or Teacher Peter, or, you know, the whole point is everyone should really participate at some point in time in a meeting, in an event. And in Kenya, I'll say this. I see you guys' events. Jesse posts a lot of stuff, and Dr. Ojina, and I see many of you getting up front, talking and sharing the products. That's great. That's what you do. But at the same time, you want to train others to do it as well. Imagine this. Imagine that you're off doing it in another location, whether it's Kenya, whether it's Tanzania, or South Africa. You're not doing it somewhere else because someone you trained is doing it back at the office in Kenya. That's called duplication. And the only way you're going to duplicate is by working with people, helping people, educating people, and helping them overcome their fear. How do you help them overcome their fear? Baby steps. Baby steps. Have them give a testimony at an event. You know, just a real quick, simple stand up and just share, even if they stayed sitting down, share your story. Now, sometimes you might have to coach them on how to share their story before an event, ask them to take 2 minutes, you know, and that's basically it. So they don't, go on for 30 minutes, and just educate them a little bit, share with them how to give a real quick, simple testimony, and then go from giving a testimony. Maybe they start sharing a bit about a product, or maybe they share a story that they were out talking to someone and something happened. But by getting them more and more and more involved, they become more committed. They start to change and grow and develop. And I learned that in this business and in life in general, if you want to grow your income, grow your pocketbook, the best way to do it is grow yourself. Because if you continue doing the same thing, let's say you have a job and do the same job over and over and over and over again, honestly, and we all know the answer to this, do you really think you're going to become financially independent? No. So therefore, by being involved here, being involved with us, being involved in this business, you can learn to grow yourself, which in turn will grow your pocketbook, because you start doing things that maybe you just didn't do before because of fear of rejection. It could be. Let's talk about fear of rejection for a second. You know, I think we all would agree it's not logical to think that every time you share for life with someone, or you share a business opportunity with someone, everyone's going to say, oh yeah, I want to do it. Definitely, I'm in. And they sign up. Never happened to me in my life that everybody said yes. So that's not logical to think everyone would say yes. So therefore, we know that there's some people, and I look at it this way, they're just not ready. They're not ready to make a change in their life. They're not ready to step up and do something to grow themselves, to build their business, to establish another income. All right. And if they're not ready, there's nothing that you or I could do to make them ready. They're just not. So you leave them alone. You don't beat them over the head. But imagine if you get back to them in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, and you're still in the business. Most of the time, people go, you're still in the business? Because they expect you to quit. Most people expect us to quit. So when they find out you're doing it 6 months or a year later and you're still working, all of a sudden they start to see things a bit differently, especially if you continued on and you started finding a few yeses. Success breeds success. So there's no reason to feel fear because someone says no. If they're not ready, they're not ready. But now there's an interesting concept here. How can you better the odds of having someone say yes? That's where the skill development comes in. That's where the personal growth comes in. You take someone like Dr. Ogina, I'm sure that he's amazing. I mean, I've seen him in action. The guy can establish a friendship with anyone very, very quickly. But then beyond that, how do you get them into the business? Well, when you come from a position of strength, and when I say strength, that means knowledge, having a medical degree obviously helps, having the ability to talk. And then, of course, like, let's face it, some people are gifted with a voice. You know, Dr. Ogina has like that Morgan Freeman deep voice. So people, you know, it tends to attract people a bit more. All right. Some people are gifted with certain, you know, gifts. All right. Maybe they're more extroverted than others. I mean, that could have happened in childhood. They were just a rambunctious, extroverted, loudmouth kid, you know? I mean, that's called personality and character. We all have it, all right? But we have to work with what we have, all right? So there's no reason to fear someone not being ready. Now, again, increasing the odds, well, the way I do it is I use my social skills when I talk to people. You know, I just first establish a friendship. That's pretty simple to do. We all know how to do that. Establish a friendship. You take an interest in the person. You know, it happened to me last night. I talked to a guy, a friend of mine. He had me talk to his brother. His brother actually texted me. He's got stage 2 colon cancer. Okay, so right there is a reason to converse, to talk. Okay, he messaged me. I'm going to look here. His name's Z. Imagine that, of all names, Z. So he basically said, thank you, Dave, for he put a pill here, actually put a pill. Thank you for the pill. Because his wife was, actually, I talked to his wife first, apologize. Talked to the wife. She wanted me to talk to him, all right? This guy apparently is a kind of a rough around the edges guy. They own a liquor store and he's got stage 2 cancer. And we're talking and start talking about cancer, transfer factor. I thought the conversation might go for maybe 2 to 5 minutes. He kept me on for like 30 minutes talking to me. And then it went from that to dogs. Well, when you start talking about a dog, you all see my dog Odin. I mean, I showed my camera to him sometimes, or his Instagram, Odin Daughtrey. Well, we got talking about dogs. And so I texted him later a picture of Odin. He texted me a picture of his dog laying on the floor and he goes, here's my half dog. And I was laughing. We're instant friends. He says, hey, come by my liquor store. He tells me where it is, up in Miramar. That's where they filmed Top Gun, by the way, Miramar Air Force Base. He's by Miramar Air Force Base. And I said, yeah, I go out that way once in a while. I'll swing by and let's go have lunch. That's all this is, you guys. It's nothing more than establishing a friendship with someone. There's no fear in that. All right. There's not even any rejection in that. When is someone ever going to say, I don't want to be your friend? I mean, come on, that's very rare. All right, if ever, because everyone needs a friend. So establishing a friendship, and then 2, when it comes to the business now, that's where trust comes in. That's where you establish a trust with someone. And with this gentleman, Z, he owns a liquor store. So I'm sure he's not hurting for money, but at the same time, he knows people I don't know. So what's my goal with him? Well, I'm going to go see him, talk, and tell him about the business. Maybe he knows a young man, young lady that would like to start a business. Maybe they're not as fortunate as him where he owns a liquor store. All right. So maybe it costs a lot of money to start a liquor store, a lot of inventory, you know, got to have some employees. You got to have state licenses to sell liquor, all the taxes you pay, you know, so I'm sure that it's not easy. Capital, of course, to start. So I'm going to try to get in his circle of influence. Who does he know? That's how I work. Everyone knows someone. So I'm always sharing with people, always establishing friendships, always trying to establish relationships, and then, of course, establish trust with people you work with. Look, I'll say this. Gabie and our business, now there's like 2 million people that have joined our network. First, we didn't talk to all of them. People in our downline have talked to them, but it started back in 1998 with just me talking to a few people, and then Gabie talking to a few people. And we continue to do that after 24 years. Why do we continue to do it? Well, because one, it's what we do. It's our business. We're not just going to quit our business. We love our business, and we love you guys. We love all the people we have on our team. That's why we go to conventions. Gabie talked about. We meet people. We meet new people. All right, but it started with just us, and that's it. And imagine now, 2 million people have signed up in For Life. They're not all active. Some come, some go. It's like a revolving door. All right. But back to fear. Whatever fear you might have, it can certainly be overcome. All right. You need to maybe work with your upline. All right. I know in Kenya, you guys have had boot camps now and then too, where you do things to help people, challenge them to do something. What I'd like to do right now is this. I'd like to have you guys share with me. We got, still 15 minutes or so to go. Please, someone share with me what fear you may have. And let's talk for a second and look at how that can be overcome. Who here has any type of fear? And if you don't have a fear of anything, then what's holding you back? What's holding you back from talking to one person a day, 5 people a day, 10 people a day, going out and hustling, just going, and meeting people, going to social events, hanging out at places, even walking into businesses and giving out a business card and saying, hey, I started a new business. We're opening up a company here, a business in Kenya or wherever you are, and I'm looking for business partners. Man, you tell someone you're looking for a business partner, I guarantee you, they're going to ask you what it is. Every time I do that, I told someone one time in a store, I said, because there's a whole bunch of newspapers hanging on a rack. And I said, what newspaper is the best newspaper to run an ad? And they asked me, what kind of ad? And I said, well, I'm looking for business partners. And so I want to run an ad to help me find a business partner. And then what did they ask me? What kind of business? You see, it's just about knowing, step by step by step. And the only way you ever get good at that is by trying it, by doing it. So I want to open up the mics. You guys share with me, anyone, what fear or what you think might be holding you back a little bit. And let's discuss that. Looks like we got some people coming in. I think Omar's coming in as well. And we got Joel and Jennifer coming in here from Florida. So anyone here want to share with me? I see, hey, Omar, how you doing, buddy?
All right, yourself. Happy Monday. How you doing, Dave?
Good. We're talking today. We've got some from Kenya and possibly from South Africa on here this morning, and we're discussing overcoming fear. How do you overcome, or what fear might you have? Fear of rejection, fear of failure. Now, Omar, I look at you as, and I don't know if you were always this way, but you seem to be a pretty extroverted person. Were you always that way?
I was not. I still get super nervous. I had a bad habit of overthinking a lot of stuff, but I learned through these, little time that I've been in the business that fear just goes away by taking action. I just took imperfect action, made mistakes, and I just started aligning along the way. But I think, like you mentioned in one of our trainings, you need to get that courage, and that only comes with action, imperfect action. But I wasn't always like this. I'm actually, and low key, I'm really introverted.
I'm the same way. I'm introverted as well. But since we kind of know what our job description is, and we know that if we want to succeed, we have to put on our extrovert uniform and go out and not be afraid.
Absolutely.
So and that's what I'm challenging, everyone here, because I know there are people like we've got Dr. Ogina as a medical doctor, studied in London. He's with us, and he does a lot of seminars, a lot of from health talk to business building, been in network marketing for quite a long time. So he's developed that skill. But most people are starting out with their business. They're just beginning. And so they're trying to still figure things out, trying to learn, okay, what do I say? When do I say it? And my attitude is pretty simple. You jump in the pool. You'll figure things out as you go along. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be scripted. You don't want to pull out a piece of paper and start reading it to someone. So you just establish friendship first, however you do that. And then you establish trust. And that's always done by basically taking an interest in them, letting them know you really want to work with them, whether you're looking for a business partner, even if you're looking for, a customer, take an interest in that person. So Claudia, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, Dave, I want to share a fear, and I want to get your input because I know it's going to help a lot of us. But before I do that, I want to welcome some of the new faces that had been asking me for the English meeting, like Mcdonia Londoño from Claudia Bedoya's team in the US. So yoo-hoo, Mcdonia, thank you for joining us. And I also have Matty from Canada, who had not been in this meeting for a while. So Matty with Brantix Cruise team, welcome again back in the game with this meeting.
Thank you.
And good. So I'm happy to get some new faces. And of course, obviously, like Dave said, we have our gold Jennifer, who I think is driving also, but I want to obviously always honor everybody that is in the high ranks. So Jennifer, I know you're probably driving because you wrote me you were coming out of something, but welcome to the Mentor Monday. And Mcdonia is the first time in this meeting. So Mcdonia, happy to have you here. I'll have it in recording because I think some of you missed some of it. But my fear, or the topic that I want to learn from my mentors today, is when you have been in this business, and I think a lot of us are averaging 5 to 10 years. So when you have been in we always have a little sales pitch, which is like, you can change your life in 5 years, or sometimes we start prolonging it. You can change your life between 5 to 10 years. And then sometimes you are in the business from 5 to 10 years, and you haven't necessarily changed your life because of income, which is what happens to me. But obviously, for life has changed my life because, like I told Dave the other day, I cannot see myself doing absolutely anything else but network marketing in my life. And obviously, I cannot see myself in another company or in another team. My uplines are the best uplines in the world. However, and here comes the fear, I'm in the best company, best team, best everything, but 5 to 10 years have gone by for people like me. What would be your advice when you're talking and people say, oh, and how long have you been in the business? Or, oh, and are you doing well? Like, do you live out of it? Sometimes they go straight to how much is your check. So I know some of these answers, but I want you to touch on that because you've had experience, and for the long term people like us, what is the way to lose the fear that you may not have the check that you dreamed when you signed, and you're not even close to it? So how do you lose that fear, and how do you become confident that you're in the right business and that you're not leaving? Because it's all about running the marathon, and not the it's not 100 or a 400 meter, it's a marathon.
Right. No, you're right. It is a marathon. First, though, I too want to recognize, I see her right there, Jennifer Rivera. Hey, Jennifer, Gold International Diamond. Jennifer's done a lot of trips with us at For Life. Her latest one she went on was Bora Bora. So I enjoyed that testimony, Jennifer, by the way. That was awesome hearing about that. So, but it looks like she's driving as well. So we don't want to distract you while you're driving, but thank you for joining in today. Okay, Claudia, here's the thing. And I think you've all seen this. You might go by a business somewhere where it basically says grand opening, and then you go by a year later, it says grand opening. There's always a grand opening, all right? And so we need to look at this the same way. It is a marathon, it's not a sprint, okay? And we're constantly reinventing ourselves, looking for new things, whether it's ways to market, talk to people, a new PowerPoint, a new present, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're always reinventing things. And those are the cycles of business. All right. That's the way it is. So you reinvent yourself. All right. If somebody asks you the question, how long have you been in For Life? I would just simply say, well, I've been around for life for quite a while, but you know what? I've actually just committed myself. You know, I've been watching other people and I've seen tremendous amounts of success. And so, you know what? I've committed myself. And by you telling people your level of commitment now, not 5 years ago or 3 years ago, now, by doing that, it puts you on the spot as well. It makes you more accountable in a way, because if you just told that person comes back to you now and says, "Hey, are you from now? How you doing?" You do want to make progress. But I like that. I like the fact that this business sometimes forces us, at least me. If I tell someone, that, I'm just starting, but I'm actually going to be a diamond, and I have no problem telling people what my goal is, then it makes me accountable. It makes it like, you know what, I better do it, or I'm not, going to look very good. And so, grand opening, you're launching yourself again, you've reinvented yourself. You tell people that, yeah, I've been around the company, I've watched a lot of other people make money, and now I really understand this business and I'm committed. And Claudia, let me say this about you. You've come a long ways. I watch you now compared to a few years ago, and you know the business very well. You're very good on the calls. You're obviously a social person. You get along with everybody. You're adaptable. You know how to adapt to people. You know how to handle people. So really what you need is a basket of people. You just need people. Well, in this business, no one's going to go find them for us unless we find that one person that will, I shouldn't say that. People can find people for us, but we have to find someone, encourage someone. So when you talk to someone, tell them, I help people build a business. If you're interested, I'll help you. And I have found that when I talk to people like that, most people are interested. And I always tell them, look, the way you build a network is that people know people. Everyone knows someone. There's no harm in inviting them to take a look. That's all. So your people, my presentation. And it also, if people ask what your check is, I honestly haven't had anybody ask me that. I mean, and our check, most people would choke, if they saw it. But I don't get asked that question, honestly. So I think that the chances of that happening is a bit less. But if they do ask you what it is, I would just simply say, you know what? It's growing and I'm starting out. And I would be just very honest and say, look, I've just started climbing the mountain and I'm looking for people that want to climb with me. But I'll tell you what, you want to meet some people that are making some phenomenal money, get on this call. You'll hear from Jennifer Rivera, Gold International Diamond. You'll hear from Dave and Gabie Daughtrey. You'll hear from others, from Omar, from other people in the business. All right. Bring them to the table. Have them come and listen to testimonies, or you can certainly share, from the 4Life app. There's some stories on there as well. So there's nothing wrong with borrowing someone else's story. And again, this is me personally, but frankly, if I was starting in my mind, let's say that I lost everything in 4Life. For whatever reason, I found myself signing up and starting all over again. My excitement when I talk to someone about me having an opportunity to work with them, taking an interest in them, and almost making them feel like you're foolish if you don't allow me to work with you, I'll find someone else. That creates fear of loss for them sometimes, because by taking it away, it's like, wait a minute. Okay. I did that to Jeff Outgilbers, by the way. My last phone call to him was, I'm not going to call you anymore. I'll find someone else to work with. You see, and there's nothing wrong with that. Be bold, be brave. If you're that committed and that serious about climbing this mountain, tell people you're looking for someone to climb with. And if you're just starting, it's okay. I'm starting out. You know what? You're fortunate because we're going to do this together. All right. I'm serious about it. Let's do this. And that's my approach with people, and when I'm looking for someone new. So Claudia, I don't know if that answered your question, but grand opening. All right. You're committed now, and now you're building. And by the way, like I said, I see a different side of you, very much so now than I did a few years ago.
Yes, Dave, thank you. And I know it's a question that a lot of people, like I think Matty said, I had the same question. So I'm trained by the best. Gabby and you are the best mentors. But it is a question that sometimes people are even afraid to ask, which is, okay, I've been here a long time and I'm still not there. How do I approach people? With what face? So thank you, Matty, for, being vulnerable and saying, hey, I feel the same. What do I tell them? So that's like bringing it out there and not being afraid, Dave. I think that because you're so confident is what I want to make sure that we leave in this meeting today, which is, it doesn't matter. You already had to start over even from another company, and you started and it was like,
Twice.
okay, back to scratch.
Twice.
Yeah. So even you, who people admire so much, and with 2 million people register under you, some of the people that are here don't know that you did have to start over and
That's
over. And it's just that's it. You just what I want to add, and I want to make sure that we have an open hand from someone before I add anything else. I don't want to use the time that you guys can take from our mentor. Let's see who is bold enough to get free coaching from the best mentoring coach for life in our English speaking team. Obviously, who wants some personalized coaching, and it's free, by the way. You know how much Tony Robbins would charge? Okay, guys, let's raise hands. Okay, Anna wants some.
Anna, hey Anna.
Anna's good. What is your fear, Anna?
Hello everyone, and thank you, Dave and Gabby and Claudia. My fear, I think it's a fear. I don't know what happened, because I talk to people and they don't see that it's a business that they have to invest a little amount of money every single month. I don't see why I cannot transfer that information right, so they can, for example, they made their registration now that is free, but they don't do anything. So it's like, okay, it's my problem because it happens over and over again, and I don't know what to do or how to do better, because
Okay. That's fine. That is typical. When everyone loves the word free. All right. It's free. All right. Well, here's the thing. I'm a very realistic person. I consider myself a very logical person. So if I'm talking to someone and I'm telling them about business, first of all, I would like to know what they do. What does this person that you talk to do? They probably have a job, correct? They probably have some sort of employment. They work somewhere, correct?
Yeah, or they are working selling stuff. So then I think, why don't you sell this?
Okay. So if they have a job, I would basically just ask them, would you like to have your own business? Do you believe that if you build your own business, your future will be better, your future will be brighter? You have a much better opportunity of having financial independence and not just working for someone else always? Well, 99 out of 100 people will agree with me. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So what I try to do is be logical with them and try to do as quickly as possible, but say, look, starting your own business, it does take an investment. So what options do you have? You can't buy a franchise unless you have a lot of money. You can't start a traditional business unless you have capital. If you want to have an e-commerce business, you have to pay to have a website built. You might have to pay for inventory, but anytime you start a business, it costs money. Here, the sign up is free, but your monthly investment is in your own health. You're investing in yourself each month. Very simple. And it's not that much. It's less, it's under $200 a month as an investment. Now, the other thing to do, if they're, like you said, if they're selling something already, say, look, why don't you let me show you how you can make money selling these products and signing people up? And you can do it not just here where you live, Because chances are, Anna, those people are selling something in their community, in their city where they live. They don't have a worldwide business. So here I would use the idea of telling them, what about getting involved in something where you can have the whole world as your market? Now, I know you speak Spanish, but there's a lot of countries that speak Spanish, from the United States to Spain to South America. So just come and listen and learn. The main thing is, Anna, get them to come to the table. Get them to come and see other people. Get them inspired. Get them motivated. All right. And so I look at it this way. If every one of you was making a $10,000 a month income, yeah, you'd go tell people and they would jump up and down and say, I want to do that too. But it takes work to get to that level. I got my first $400 when I got a $400 ship. My first one wasn't even $400. It was under that. But you have to start somewhere. Okay, everyone does. But be logical. Be honest with them when you talk to them. But just try to get them to come listen to other people as well. That would be my advice. But in your conversation with them, be logical, sincere. Real quick review. Okay, a review of this. 1, they must understand self-employment, working for yourself, is the only way you'll ever establish financial freedom, not working for someone else. Okay. 2, security. Security, the best security there is in yourself. It's not in someone else. So you have to get secure with yourself, your own ability. That you do in this business. It teaches you, it helps you learn that. Okay. 3, people are already making money. Come and listen to them. What does it cost you to come and listen? Nothing. Okay. So, and if they start asking you a ton of questions, don't answer them all. Just say, look, I want you to come and listen to some other people. It won't hurt you. No one's going to say anything to you. You don't even have to show your face if you don't want. You can even make up a different name on the Zoom if you want. Just come and listen and get them to come and listen. That's what I would do.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And we all run into that, by the way. We all run into people that, have objections. The world is full of objections. Okay. And I'll finish by saying this. One of my early mentors said something to me that really hit me one day. He said, David, you can make excuses or you can make money, but you can't make both. And that's very true. And most people make excuses. All right. So stop making excuses, challenge yourself, step up, do something today. It's Monday. That's why this is Mentor Monday. Do something. Well, in Kenya, you have to wait till tomorrow, maybe. That's not too late. It's still 9 o'clock in the evening. But do something that you may not have done before. Challenge yourself. All right. And I'll make this last statement as well. I always have a last statement. And Claudia, this kind of goes back to what you said. What makes the difference between someone making $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 a month in For Life? What makes the difference between them and the person who isn't making anything? To me, it's simple. The person making the money is willing to do the things that the person that's not making the money is willing to do. So if you're willing to do the things that others are not willing to do, trust me, you'll earn the income and you'll create the personal development that the other people will not create or develop, because you're willing to do those things. And those things are not magical, all right? That nobody has superpowers. They just challenge themselves and they step up and they do it. And it's really that simple, all right? Now, mental toughness, as Dr. Gina says, you do have to have a mental toughness, because the world out there, believe it or not, a lot of the people out there expect you to fail, all right? They just think it's normal that people jump in these things and they don't succeed. I know someone that tried it. I know someone that tried that, Well, you can be the one that achieves your dreams. Everything is there, as Gabby said. The products are there. The company is there. We're here. People, the team, all right? Everything is there for you to succeed. You just have to want it bad enough to do things that other people are not willing to do. So having said that, we're done. Thanks you guys for joining.
We pass it to Dave.
Pastor Florence.
Florence. Good, thank you.
Go ahead and take the mic, Florence. It's all you.
Thank you very much, Gabby and Dave, for the good presentation and addressing a very important topic, fear. Mine is fear of rejection, which you have very well addressed and have really benefited very much. And I hope everybody else have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Florence. Thank you for participating. All right, you guys, keep going, keep growing. And also we have our English calls with Jennifer Rivera and Omar. Those are on our Wednesday. I know that in Africa, you guys are asleep because that's like at 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning Africa time. But you all know someone in the United States, I'm sure. We're working the US market too. We're working it hard. So invite your people to come to our English meeting on Wednesdays. All right. Thank you, everyone. We love you guys. And we'll be talking really soon. All right. Have a wonderful evening, wonderful day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
It's in the calendar, everybody, the new codes. Make sure you know the codes. They're in the calendar because we have also Rokael from Canada today who joined us. Welcome, Rokael. And Kawinder is also joining us. So there's lots of people here from this side of the hemisphere. Check and Anna from Colombia. So check please the calendar because the code is different for those 2 new meetings. Dave has 2 new meetings in English in the calendar. Okay. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Gabby. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.